last video, we went over the new Animal Hospital new update and talked about how Dr. Harlow might not actually be the bad guy we all thought he was. Well, today we're going a lot deeper into our chief doctor, because there is so much more to this story. It looks like he's not just innocent, he might actually be the only person keeping this entire place from falling into absolute chaos. That leaves us with the big question we need to answer today. Who exactly is Dr. Harlow, and what actually happened to put him in this position? I spent some time digging through the lore and the secret files to piece this together, so let's get right into what I found. Let's start by looking around Dr. Harlow's office. If you walk up to his desk, you can find a burned family photo. It looks like it was in a fire or a bad accident, which is our first big clue that something terrible happened to his family. In the photo, you can see his wife and his daughter. But here is the weird part. Harlow is a gazelle, but his daughter in the photo is a rabbit. Right now, there's nothing special about it yet, but I think this will play a crucial role in some later update. We also get more clues when we listen to Harlow talking to Ron. Ron is the corporate guy who works for the hospital management, and he is always breathing down Harlow's neck. Ron wants Harlow to fix all the security problems right away and get rid of anyone causing trouble like Ratthew. But Harlow does not want to do it. He keeps making up excuses to slow things down. The most surprising thing is how Harlow protects Ratthew. Remember, Ratthew is the guy who sneaks around the hospital and crawls through the vents. He even stole a really important key from Harlow's desk. But when Ron complains about Ratthew, Harlow actually defends him. He tells Ron that Ratthew is just a good kid who has a good heart. This is super weird for a chief doctor to do. Why would he risk his own job to protect a kid who is breaking the rules? We can also see how Harlow really feels by showing him different items we find in the game. For example, if we find Ratthew's stolen key and give it back to Harlow, he doesn't get mad or start an investigation. He just takes the key and says he'll hide it somewhere safe. He doesn't want the corporate guys to find it. If you show him the letter we found under the desk, he tells us it's from an old coworker. He says they didn't really get along, but he still says the coworker was a really good doctor. This might be because their way of researching is very different from each other's, despite the fact that they both work for the Animal Corp. Then there is the book by John A. Nomely. Most people read the book, think Nomely is totally crazy, but Harlow seems to respect him. When you show him the book, Harlow quotes a line from it: "The anomaly gene sleeps in every animal." This means Harlow knows a lot about Nomely's ideas, and he might actually believe them. And when you show him that burned family photo, Harlow doesn't want to talk about it. He just looks sad and says it's just an old picture. He is clearly trying to hide his pain. This matches up with the long talk you can have with Harlow in the lobby. He stands there looking really tired, and he tells you he's been working at this hospital for a very long time. He has seen so many workers come and go. He talks about a terrible event in his past that broke him. He says parts of him never came back, but the company saved whatever was left of him. Now, he works for them because he hopes that once they finish their research, everything will get better. He wants a future where there are no more sick patients, no more long night shifts, and no more problems. When you listen to him, he sounds so sad and exhausted. He's just trying to survive and hopes the nightmare will end soon. To understand why Harlow is protecting people, we have to look at the story of Ratthew and his sister, Ratina. Ratina went missing in the hospital, and we have a lot of reasons to believe she was turned into a monster. If you look at the clues in the secret safe, she probably became the Stalker, which is that creepy creature roaming around. Ratthew is trying to find her, and he keeps warning us about the scary guys carrying briefcases. Ratthew's story and Harlow's story are actually connected. Harlow knows all about Ratthew. He tells us that Ratthew doesn't have a home and once almost froze to death on the street before an ambulance brought him here. Harlow grumbles about Ratthew breaking into the vents, but he doesn't actually want to hurt him. When the corporate boss, Ron, asks about the break-ins, Harlow covers for Ratthew. He lies to protect him. Why? Because Harlow probably knows what it's like to lose family to this company. He sees himself in Ratthew, who is just a desperate kid trying to save his sister. Harlow wants to make sure Ratthew doesn't lose his sister forever like he lost his own family. All of this brings us to two big theories about what happened to Dr. Harlow. The first theory is that Harlow used to be a regular scientist working on the monster experiments a long time ago. One day, there was a terrible accident and the monsters got out. His family was caught in the middle of it, and his wife and daughter unalived in that huge accident. That would explain the burn photo. Now, Harlow is just working for the company because he feels guilty and wants to fix his mistakes, but this theory has some big problems. It doesn't explain why he protects Ratthew so much, and it also doesn't explain the creepy secret in his supply closet. And if you checked his office, you would see his work certificate says he has only worked at the hospital for 5 years. That's not a very long time, and it doesn't match up with him being there for a huge accident that happened way in the past. There has to be a bigger reason why he is doing all of this. That leads us to the second theory, which makes a lot more sense. What if Harlow's family didn't die in that accident? What if they were changed into monsters instead? If his wife and daughter were exposed to the slime for too long, they might have turned into anomalies. In this case, the company didn't save Harlow's life. They saved him by keeping his mutated family alive in the hospital. They probably promised him that if he worked for them and finished the research, they would find a cure and fix his family. This explains why Harlow is so sad when he talks in the lobby. When he says parts of him never came back, he means his family is gone, turned into monsters. When he says the company saved what was left of him, he means they have his family. He is working night after night because he wants to find a cure so he can get his wife and daughter back. This also explains why he helps Ratthew. Harlow knows exactly how painful it is to have your family taken away by this company. When he sees Ratthew looking for Retina, he sees himself. And it makes us think about that weird note on his to-do list about the supply closet. What if the thing he is keeping in the supply closet is actually his wife or his daughter? He might be hiding them in there, feeding them, and keeping them safe from the company's scientists until he can finally cure them. So that's what we have found so far. Dr. Harlow isn't a bad guy at all. He is just a sad father and husband who is trapped working for a terrible company to save the people he loves. It's a really sad story happening behind the scenes of this creepy hospital. What do you guys think? Do you think his family is still alive as monsters, or do you have a different theory? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.